let's check that. So the advantage to do that with component test is that the feedback loop is still quite short. I'm having lots of problems, wiring security, wiring stuff like that. But come on, we always have those kind of problems. But here I have a feedback loop of a few seconds. So it's okay to check that. So my game is created with the player one name. And here when I want to roll, oh, I'm using my mouse again. Please, I can't move my mouse. That's so sad. Okay, so I should keep it. Please let me move my mouse. I was a good boy today. Why can't I move my mouse? No, I wasn't a good boy. So here we can see who is authorized. So he's a player, he's authenticated, and he don't have any credential, but he's player one. So if I come here, so far so good. Game, if I get my game, I got a game. And does the game belong to player one? Player one. Okay. I have really hard time just moving around in the code. In fact, my computer really is dying. And that's annoying. Okay, so here you don't want to show me. That's not kind of him. I forgot the return. So, okay, my test pass. My test checking the true. This one is lying. Okay. I can't move. Yes. This is way better. Okay, perfect. Almost there. Computer, please, leave. You are new. You have a few months because the one before you died from the heat. So please don't die from the heat. Yeah. This is secured. This is working. So we have 15 minutes left before the last interview for today. 20 minutes left. What do you want to do? Do we try to make a real implementation for this repository? This will be tricky to do, and I'm not sure it's really interesting. Do you want to discuss some of the things I did and I was too fast, and we can talk about it? Do you have any already? Do you want to check something else? I'll just commit that.
Question.
Yes?
JHipster generates some code, and we don't really use it.
Maybe you need to take the mic because of the chat to show people.
So JHipster generates some code, and we don't really use it.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a tactic to use generated classes by JHipster? Or,
I think this is an awesome subject to end the day.
Yes. So,
what do you think?
So the question is, what happens if you want to remove some code from JHipster? This is it?
No, don't think so.
no, how use generated code by JHipster. For example, JHipster, in general, you generate some entities, so you generate the REST controller and also the repository. So how can I
use the GDL generated classes, source, and everything else in an hexagonal architecture?
Yes.
That's the question. Do you have any idea?
But well, I know we discussed about that little bit together just before this live happened. Of course, and Conan tell me he don't use to use the entity generator. So to generate entities, you can use the entity generator or import a GDL file that will contain many few entities definition and relationships. So the idea is the things of course I didn't have use hexagonal architecture for my personal project and even on my client's machines. So I can tell you a thing to be sure that is exactly like that. But I think we can use entity generation and maybe more GDL import file, and then move to have the base. So you can have an entity with the field, with the validation rules that you want to implement in, and maybe something more.
You have the liquid base files?
Yes, the liquid base files. And yes, in the V7, now we will be able to have changelog, incremental changelog. So if this means you will be able to generate an entity, and then when you will want to update this entity, you will have the changelog to upgrade the database according to the modification you've done. So it's really great for projects that are already deployed in environment production, or maybe something not really production but close, quite close. So you have many things, and even the front-end application, we generate basic view that we can read and update and get all the files, get all the values from this entity. So I think this can be used for administration's purpose, but of course in our hexagonal architecture we can just generate the files and then take the files and put the files where they belong, so not in the domain layer classic architecture. So maybe we can do like this, but this means you will generate and then clean the code to remove what you don't need. So you have two ways. The first, you do things manually. Maybe it's it will take you more time, but you manage and you control everything you do. And things, if you like using GDL or entity generator, you can use that, and you have to clean the code. So if you spend more time to clean the code than write the code, maybe you should write the code, of course. But if sometimes it depends. Sometimes it's easier to clean and move the code and move classes to specific package than write all the code from scratch, I think. But
we are at the end of the day, and I think it's a good time to explain how this session was created. Perhaps we should have done that at the beginning of the day. I don't know. Can be a good idea. So, at the beginning of the year, Pascal, who is our project leader, Hippolyte, who is a core team member of the JHipster project, and me were talking at our Lyon agency and taking a coffee, and we said, okay, we should start something around DDD in JHipster. Because I was leaving a project I did with Hippolyte, and we did domain-driven design, TDD, and all of this, all I shown, and all the things you didn't see, all the way that didn't work, I didn't show here. We discovered it with Hippolyte on this project. So we said, okay, let's create a ticket on JHipster and ask the community if somebody can provide an example application using JHipster and DDD, whatever that means, because doing DDD doesn't mean anything, but let's create the ticket. So Hippolyte created the ticket at the beginning of the year, and it was the ticket, lots of people took interest in it. I think you did.
I ruined.
Lots of people took interest in it. There was discussion, stuff like that, and then nothing. Pascal asked me many times to try to do this application example, but you know I'm not that much in JHipster, and time passes. A little mondial crisis, perhaps you've heard of it, called COVID. I don't know, perhaps you've heard. So time passes faster with that. And then we are coming closer to JHipster code, like 3 weeks before JHipster code. And Ibon say, okay, we go to JHipster code, but we put it live on our channel, on our Twitch channel. And I'm live on the Twitch channel most of the time, so okay, I say okay, I can come. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'll be a journalist. I'll take a microphone and go talk to people, and that will be fine. And we started preparation for this day with some core team members, and they say, okay, we have a track, JHipster with DDD. It's scheduled. It's on the website. So, oh, cool, awesome. Who's doing it? Who's the core team member animating this track? Perhaps we have a problem. Okay. Colin, would you be okay to do this? I said, okay, I can do this, but this won't be JHipster with DDD, because I don't really use JHipster. I use JHipster to bootstrap my application. I use JHipster to do the initial wiring, to do okay, I want this kind of authentication, this kind of database, this kind of, I don't know. And then, personally, I don't use JHipster. And they said, okay, show us, make your application like you are doing, and we'll see what we can do out of it. To be honest, with Hippolyte, we tried on our project to use the JHipster generated application from GDL for the repository. We generated, we got something simple, and relationships, don't remember. We made a little GDL and put it away. So we generated the entity, the GPA entities, and then we started the cleanup. Okay, so when JHipster is doing a relationship, it's a two-way relationship in the entity. I don't like it. Here I have a one-way relationship game to frame. I don't want to code two-way, so we change it, change the annotation using join colon instead of many to one with join colon instead of many to one to many. JHipster generating the ID, I think you can't have universal unique ID without generation.
Not sure, no, I'm not sure. Maybe yes.
But we changed that. So we changed the ID, generation. We changed the equals and hash code because JHipster is generating static hash code, which is very good when your database is generating your ID. But that's not a good ID when your ID is managed by your business. So we changed that. Then we changed a few things like the visibility, stuff like that. And then we saw we forgot one or two fields, so we added them. And finally, we spend more time doing that than coding the entity ourselves.
Yes, so it's related that I said just before. I think it's really depend what kind of stuff you want to do with entities. If you plan, just like Conan say, to change a lot of things, maybe it's not worth to do it with entity generator and do it and change all the things.
Yeah, I think that's more of when you want to do your design than which kind of code architecture you want to use. Like I say, I don't like design upfront. I failed too many times designing upfront. Actually, I never succeed doing a design upfront. I always have to break it. And it was always hard because, hey, this is our design, this is our model, we love it, we finally got it after 3 months on whiteboards. We are all okay with the design. And then you do 10 lines of code and the design is blown away. So I don't like design upfront, so I don't use those kind of tools. I need tools that allow me to have an emerging design. And these tools, this way of doing things, as you see, my design is emerging from my code and not the opposite. So I think this approach should tell you, okay, I want to use JHipster or not. But, and there is a big but. How? How that joke?
Yes, we don't hear that.
That joke, awesome, not intended.
But you cannot lie.
We did the game context. The game context is in an hexagonal architecture. Perhaps we'll have another context, which is just create, read, update, delete. It's totally possible, and in that case, generate it with JHipster. If you know the tool, if you are faster with it, do it. Your context doesn't all have to be in hexagonal architecture. If you don't have business logic, and that happens,
maybe you can use the administration
Yep.
with the JHipster, and we have the context of your, I don't know what use case, but just your use case, your user use case in DDD, and the administration with JHipster. I think also after we have create our domain, we can think about what we need. How if you have your model, your business domain model, you can think how can I save it, and after you can create the entity and use it.
that's
with,
something really
with
important.
mappers and.
This is something really important. I don't know if Arno Zeda is still on the chat, but I'm gonna talk of our project. Arno Zeda is he's the client architect on my current project, so that's why we are joking with each other. On this project, we have lots of things to do, and one of them is to handle a catalog of products, and we decided to put it in an Elasticsearch because the catalog comes from their original information system. We are not doing anything on it in our solution, and we have rich research to do on that, so Elasticsearch, good tool. If you look at the domain object for a product, which is complicated, we have rules to generate labels and stuff depending on lots of rules. If you look at the domain model, and if you look at the model persisted in the Elasticsearch, this is not the same fields, not at all. Not the same hierarchy, not the same field. There are more fields persisted. There are fields persisted that don't exist in the model, and there are fields in the model that don't exist in the persistency. Because for some field, I need to persist them many times and index them many times in Elasticsearch to have some specific features. And some fields are calculated, so I have them in the domain, but I don't have them in the persistency. Being able to have different model and the REST model is again another one, because I thought of the API, not my business, not my domain object. So having the right to have different model is my life. Like really, to be able to have pre-calculated field in my persistency will allow me to do really complex search with ease, because I persisted it in an easy way to do the search. So buying that right, because that's almost that, with this kind of architecture, I'm able to do that. And I'm doing that. And I'm enforcing my business logic, and I'm enforcing the domain model. All that allows me to be really fast, because I won't come in a problem where I spend 2 days trying to write a fucking Elasticsearch query. No, I take 10 minutes, I add the pre-calculation I need, I add them to the document in the Elasticsearch, and I'm done. I can make a very easy query, it will be faster, and I won't have this kind of problem. Speaking of speed, because the main reason to use JHipster generation, GDL, is to be faster, to go faster. I don't have speed problem with this kind of architecture. I don't have velocity problem. My main problems nowadays, and I've done many clients, is to have enough business input. Because I can't code if I don't have rules for all cases. As you've seen, if I have something that is optional, I need rules for the 2 cases. And I can't miss those kind of rules. You are missing it if you don't have domain model. Because you have anemic stuff, everything can be null or not, or perhaps, or you don't know. So you're missing all those cases, all those edge cases. So you're just going through them, and you don't have to have business input for that. So my main problem today is that, not velocity. Velocity with this kind of architecture, with this kind of methodology, is really, really good. The first time we set all this up was for a startup, and we had 3 months to create a bank with a team of 5. A bank, with, okay, I need to order a card, block my card, see my transaction, make a SEPA environment, all the registration process in the bank, some legislation in it. 3 months, 5-person team, 5 developers team. No availability from the business, because they were the creators, so they were selling the product. And it was done in time. With this kind of architecture, it is possible. You are going really fast with this kind of doing things. Yes, perhaps you write more code because you have to write some mapping, some stuff like that. But you don't come back on this code unless you have a new feature, an evolution to do. You don't come back to debug for 3 days on those line of codes. You have really short feedback loops. You see, we are at the end of the day, I spend the whole day speaking in English, I'm like dead in the inside. We have all the possible problem wiring Spring. And in the end, that didn't take that much time. We have our security, we have our REST service exposition, and every time I click on my test and I have my feedback quite fast. Don't know if I made my point here. You tell me. Did I answer the question or not? Yes?
What is the question?
The question is, why are you not if I make it short, why are you not using the JHipster generation? Mm-hmm. And the short answer is, because I don't know how to use it. And I don't know how to use it because I have no use of it right now. Perhaps it's a mistake.
how we can use JHipster generation, but the response for me and it was why I think before this day it's impossible because JHipster cannot it's not designed to know the business.
The goal of this day and the goal of this track is to find some ways, some facilitations. In the next version of JHipster, and perhaps it will be already in the version 7, you'll have some of the stuff I used there. For example, you'll have a generated annotation. That's not big, but that's something. And the generated annotation, Pascal saw it on our application and said, not that bad. And he will take over stuff, he will watch this. I have no idea how you can use that in JHipster. I have no idea how you can use what we have done and put it in JHipster. Because that's not my work. And I'm not implied in JHipster project. We have done that. We have this application, it's working right now. And the guy who knows JHipster, the guy who wants to contribute to JHipster can take it and see if they can do something with it. I'll be more than happy to share on the proposed solution, but I'm not the guy who will give the solution.
So if we can send a message to the chat of people who will watch the video, that we can say if you have experience about DDD architecture, DDD approach and hexagonal architecture, and you want to contribute to JHipster, feel free to do it. We will be happy to review. I will be happy to do.
Even without experience, if you have an idea how to make a generator based on what we have seen today, just go.
Yeah, of course, a beginner and first contributor are welcome. You should do it. We will help you to do that whenever, and just come and the ticket is alive, still alive. It is still open. So just add something on the ticket, discuss, and
we'll probably close it because the ticket was to create an example application using DDD with JHipster, and I think we are almost there.
We
did it today.
So maybe we can push the the project is now
the code
available.
Is pushed.
We will push it on GitLab, so it is.
I have to merge it. The code is in Apache 2 license, so you do what you want with it. Fork it.
And so just add the link to the ticket, and some people who will contribute to the project.
We have we are 3 minutes late for the interview.
Yes,
the last interview for today.
We have Saif is waiting for us for about 10 minutes. He's listening for.
Because since she spoke about the banking, that would be interesting as well. So.
Yeah, but let's do your interview and
So,
we can go.
The last interview of the day, and after that, I think we will close the stream for the day, maybe.
No, we'll do a quick conclusion.
Oh yes, okay.
I can start to grab my stuff, the ones not needed, but we'll do a quick conclusion.
Yes,
so
okay. So
it's up to you.
Always
guys.
one. Perfect. Let's go.
Hi Saif, thanks for joining for closure of the day. So small talks about you, JHipster code.
Okay.
So let's start to introduce yourself to the listeners, maybe your background, who you are, where you're coming from.
Okay. So my name is Saifuddin Wali, and my background is software engineering, and right now I'm working as a director of cloud native platform technologies at Erada Capital, which is building a digital bank. So that's why I was curious when I was hearing him talking about it. And Erada Capital is based in Dubai. I came from Dubai to attend the JHipster Code.
Quite a long flight to go.
Quite a long flight with the hassles, with the with the pandemic and everything.
Yeah.
So, and I'm enjoying as well being here. So it's a good occasion for me to meet up again with the guys and the core team, basically.
Yeah. So what's your story with JHipster? How did you first heard about it? Since when you working with it?
So I started actually working with JHipster 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. So it was I would say when it was almost a year and a half, 2 years old. We were looking to build a web application quite fast And obviously, most of the developers will always say, let me try something and I'll write something from scratch. And obviously, it's a culture for developers to reinvent the wheel because many things exist already. And just a matter of like searching for the right, framework. Most of the developers as well, they always go with the comfort zone. So they go with the technologies that they are comfortable with, but sometimes these technologies do not match the proper business requirement. Technology is at the end of the day fulfilling requirement business, right? This is how it works. And JHipster basically has a very generic approach to deliver a web application that contains already all the requirement what you need in business, meaning database setup, security setup, even if it's basics, but it gives you already all what you require. So this is actually what I was looking for. And eventually, back in 2015, during the summertime, I wanted to create a web application. And I found JHipster as a framework, which was like still new, and some people were talking about it. And the whole story is, I started just using it in a friendly way, and I found it very interesting because obviously the time to market was very quick. From the installation to the generation of the project, it's a couple of minutes, and you have an application up and running. So from there, I started actually to use it, and then little by little, I started to contribute since I was finding some bugs. Being in touch as well with Julien, he was the first guy to whom I was interacting. I came to JHipster at IPON, by the way. It was a hackathon that was done in 2016. And I came from Dubai 48 hours and I left just for this purpose of hackathon to meet the guys and go back. So this is how it is. Long story basically with them. So
nice. So you used it both personally and professionally.
Yes.
And so personally, you built a web application. So from scratch based on JHipster until production.
Yes.
And it's running in production with the JHipster core.
Yes.
And professionally, did you use it only for POC purposes or for side projects, or is it also used for your company, for example, as for production core?
So right now, actually, as I'm talking, we are building what we call a banking corporate portal. So it's a website basically oriented for the corporate accounts based on JHipster. So we started initially with a different technology and we found some complications basically when it was scaling. And we said we wanted to go with something which is close to the cloud native approach, meaning that we wanted to containerize the applications and go to Kubernetes. So that's my basically area of work on a daily basis. And knowing JHipster, I said, okay, we can use it initially as a starting point, and then from there we take it to another level. Luckily, during that period, Julien as well from his side with Microsoft was working on the integration of Azure Spring Cloud to the Microsoft stack, which was perfect in our scenario because Spring Cloud basically, the underlying part is Kubernetes. It just removes the hassle of managing the deployment of the application within Kubernetes. So we're using it right away, actually, for the production. So we're getting it ready for that.
So quite good experiences with JHipster.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's when you want to deliver something very fast, I think it's probably like amongst the best frameworks that you have right now in the market to just start with the full stack that you require. Meaning the full stack, not as we know it, like front end and back end only, but it's like bottom up infrastructure, data layer, and application layer, which is like unique kind of because none of the applications nowadays or none of the frameworks gives you this layer of integration.
Okay. And so you were saying this is the usage part. You also contribute to that project also?
Yes.
Developing bug fixes, evolutions. I don't know what's the work you've done and that you're doing now?
So there are many, most of my contributions were related obviously to what we've been doing at work. So trying to enhance the generator by obviously contributing to the Kubernetes part. Right now, for example, the whole day I spent it working with the guys in the DevOps track to add, for example, all the Terraform part, which is basically creating all the infrastructure as code automation for JHipster. Because usually developers, when they want to start working and developing, they don't want to waste time on finding out how I'm going to run my application and where am I going to run it. Locally, it's just you play it and you run it, it works. But to build the end-to-end stream for your application, then you need to have as well, kind of transparency for the developer to deploy his application without any hassle, and avoiding having silos where you need to request for whatever infrastructure, a VM or a Kubernetes cluster, and then you have to request for someone from the DevOps to give you a pipeline, etc., etc. So we're trying to work on actually a full transparency, whether you want to deploy it on GCP, on AWS, on Azure. So right now I'm just trying to contribute as much as I can on the Azure part, because we've been working a lot with Azure as well.
And it seems that that'd be quite a hard part to manage.
It's the most interesting part, actually.
Dense
It is
part.
the most interesting, because once you've been in development for a long time, then you want to see the other stuff that actually happens to the software, which is mainly in relation to the operational side of the deployment, the maintenance, and stuff like that. So that's actually how we keep improving as well the life cycle of the software.
Okay. And so you joined today the JHipster Code. You joined Pierre's track, I guess.
Yes.
So compared to what you were expecting at the beginning of the day, now that you have been working on it for 6 hours, 7 hours, are you happy with the progress you've made today? Was it helpful to work physically with other team members? I guess you were 4 of them.
Yeah, we were few people. Yeah, 5 people actually in total. We were working with this track. So obviously, look, after the 6-month period where everyone was kind of panicking, anxious about the pandemic, it's always good to meet again physically with people, because it's it's cheering up again, and we're looking forward to hopefully things would continue this way. And from the work point of view, it's always much better to work when you're face to face, rather than just spending your time on Zoom calls or Teams calls or Google Meet, or it's just becoming antisocial basically at some point, though we're using social medias for that. No, it's very productive, because obviously working directly with the guys, you just have to ask them the question on the spot, and they provide you an answer or a direction for that. Especially since I'm working on the Azure stack, Julien is just here, so when I need him for something, I just grab him and tell him I need your help for something. So that's how it is. It's pretty good. We could achieve something at least for the day, which is very good. So there will be probably just some few cleanups to be done, and then we just submit it as a POC and something that can be used by others. So it's good.
Okay, so I guess it's hard to say, but what's the estimated time of arrival for the functionality you're developing today?
Everything is a matter of time. That's one of the things which also as any contributor, we need to find some time eventually to do it. So I hope that actually we could finish this to have it industrialized by probably end of this month. It could be done before, but not over promising as well is good, but to keep the expectation realistic. So by end of this month would be good.
Okay.
Because most of the work is done, and there is some few things which are literally the final steps to industrialize something, to make it working beautifully, I would say.
Good change.
Yeah, definitely one.
Okay, and so in JHipster, I asked this question to previous interviewed also. What's the feature that might be missing, or that you'd like to see out in the few weeks, months, that would be really helpful for you, or that you'd find really interesting to get?
So it's probably a mix of what JHipster is doing and what we started doing today with Pierre and William. Nowadays, when you go to the market and you look at what people need in reality, right? As a technologist, I always try to find which is the best solution or the best approach for the time to market. Because obviously, when you're running something in the cloud, every second you spend in the cloud is money, it's cost. So they see it as a cost center. So obviously, the best approach, and this is probably what would make JHipster close to perfect, is to provide features which will basically say in which cloud am I deploying, and I will have a set of services that could be available. So very similar to what we've been doing today, kind of variabilizing, if I can say, the Terraform script. So you can say I want to deploy in Kubernetes, I need this particular service, managed service, like a database, container registry, having some security aspects as well managed via these files. So at least when you start building, you always think about the 3 layers. So you build up a rock solid infrastructure like that from the beginning. You know that you will have a kind of development and production parity, and you will not reach production with the stress of, okay, now I need to fix it for production. So that's the thing. And the second thing is, anyways, from the application side, I think we have already something which is almost close to production ready. So it's maybe that first layer that we need to work on, and that would be really making JHipster great.
Okay, so that will be next work.
That's what I'll try to contribute to. I'll try to contribute a lot to that. That's probably one thing that we should be doing. So there is a DevOps part, which is the CI part, which as well needs to be improved. So there are some few things still.
Good. So to conclude, maybe, how did you find the day? Did you enjoy it? Did it meet your expectations? And was it okay to do the travel from Dubai?
It is definitely worth the travel. I mean, again, for me coming here, first of all, even before the track, I discovered a city that I've never came to before. Bordeaux is a wonderful and very beautiful city. I don't know if it is me or it's like a coincidence, but we brought the hot weather with us. Looks like I run away from Dubai to come to a good weather, and the weather is as hot as Dubai almost, I would say, here. So everything was good, and as well the whole day everything ran smooth. You know, people were like seemed to be happy. Everything seemed to be good. No one seemed to be sick. That's very good as well. And the activities seemed to be like well organized. So and you know, the whole team, kudos to them, because obviously it was very challenging to prepare everything, and especially I guess the guys from IPON as well. So thanks to you and thanks to everyone else.
Thank you. So this will conclude our interview. I don't know if you have any words to say that you want to say.
Hopefully, the only thing I would say is I hope to see you soon again. Hopefully things will change and we'll be able to travel again. And if you come by Dubai, please feel free to just pass by to Errada, and we'll take care of you this time.
Or maybe we'll organize the next JHipster conference or JHipster Code to Dubai.
Yeah, definitely. That would be good.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks to you again.
And see you around.
Cheers. Thanks again.
Thanks.
Can you hear me, chat? We are here for the conclusion. We came too soon, I think, considering the conclusion for the last interview. So let me sit. So, chat, how are you doing? And, of course, the few valorous men who followed us for the whole day, how are you doing? We are here for a quick conclusion. And then, you know my goal for today, getting my plane.
And have a drink? No?
Plane.
A little drink, a little drink.
Plane.
Oh, have a drink during the plane, during the flight.
Yeah. Once I'm seated at my spot in the plane, it will be awesome. So, little conclusion for today. We'll do a quick roundtable chat. For the one used to be there, you know our tradition. If you want to, you can put a mark between 0 and 5. 0, you really waste your time, the time you listen to us, and 5, it was really cool. Yeah, for the
8 hours.
If you want to listen, how many hours of stream right now? 8.5 hours of stream. 5 nothing song. You're always putting 5. Okay, put your mark if you want. But it's great, and we are gonna check in the room. What do you think of this day? Don't hesitate to put 0. I have no problem with that. We just want to improve. So if it wasn't good, it's not good. No problem. Everybody, I'll let you think of your mark. Axel also. Think of your mark. 3, 2, 1. 4, 4, 4. 5, 5, 5. Nothing to say. I'm really happy, in fact, of this day, because I was thinking about a long time ago to do this kind of content, to have this kind of video. I'm really happy. I'll try something. I'm really happy that Axel is gonna make a few awesome videos with the interview on one part, the live coding, removing all the polls. It's really nice of him to do that. I try. We'll see if that happens. Hokuru 5 also, thanks a lot. So for me, we have pretty good content. I just share a few words with Pascal right now, and he also think that we can do something on this. We didn't do it for okay. I think the JHipster community can take something out of this intervention, out of this live, this video, the code we did, the code we shared. I just checked with them. I pushed everything in Apache 2 license on a repository. You can take everything. If there is any problem with licensing, that's a mistake on my part, and just tell me and I'll change the license. I want you to be able to take it, be it the code we did today or the preparational code I did, so the concurrent integration, the errors management, keeper, so the authorization management, stuff like that. The goal is that you can take this if you want, if you think it's interesting. Same for the video and stuff like that. We forgot to take your consents for the video. Can you say we're okay to have your voice recorded, please? Yes, you're okay. Thanks a lot.
My name is not.
Thanks. And I think that's all for today. Do you have a final word, Anthony?
Yes, I would like to thank everybody here, especially the chat, because I think we had about 20 and sometimes even 30% in live all the day during 8 hours. It's, well, I'm a little bit surprised, I admit. Before doing that, I thought we will have maybe 5% and sometimes
yes, it's a working
20.
day.
Well, yes, it's Monday. Even it's the worst day in the weeks also, because it's Monday. So people don't. Maybe at Mondays they just sleep at the work. No, don't do that. But yes, it's not easy to know to imagine that it will be a success or not. It's real difficult to do that, and we spend many time to organize. So really, thank you for people for watching us, and thank you a lot also Axel, because I know he spent a lot of time, even yesterday in the evening, to make sure that all the day will be possible.
Everything was fine the first time we tried.
Yeah, I know.
First attempt.
This morning he was running for he ran for cable and for stuff that did not work. So it's yes, thank you very much, Axel, for that, and also Arthur is here because he did all the interviews, and I think it's really important. It was very important for us to have people that come and share their experiences and tell us well, all the feeling about the day, and the first chips. They're called the first this first kind of event that we organize. And thanks people, Vincent. Attendees, yes, they did not. What do we say in English? Surrender.
Yeah,
they did not surrender.
They didn't surrender this long day.
Yes, they did. Maybe they will go to sleep a bit earlier tonight. Oh, they're good to drink. Okay, wait.
And you have no problem with alcohol, and we don't talk about it.
No, we are talking about water.
Okay.
And of course, just a final word for you, Conan, because if we are be able to do that, it's obviously because we do a great work, and I would like to thank you a lot, because it was really important for us to have this kind of track for today, and in my point of view, it's a success. So thank you, because it's a success because you've done all the things to do that will be a success. So thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. We've done what we can. I don't know, Geoffrey, if you're still here, and if you just hear this core team member saying that this live and discovering and of course, this implication was a success and was greatly, really appreciated. So, Geoffrey, if you're here, as you are one of the man behind it, I think you can take a big part of it for you. I'm here. Thanks, Guy, for this marathon. Yeah, this is kind of a marathon. Gnuc, they will be better than a marathon. There will be an awesome edit from Axel. Lots of video, and I think the replay will be available on Twitch as soon as we cut the live. And if you don't have the replay when we cut the live, that means you won't have any video because we can't record locally. So hopefully you'll have a replay. Yes. If we have the video on Twitch, we are good.
Have to test.
And Gnuc say, have fun, Axel. Have fun editing. Have fun.
You will help me.
Huh? Gnuc, can you hear us? Since you are doing video editing to help Axel and the rushing. 8 hours of me trying to speak English. Good luck. So I think we are done for today. Time to close, take all the cables, and see you.
Yes.
No, sorry, I have something really important to do. And that's not a joke. I was forgetting it. Let me 2 seconds, because we are on Ipon Twitch channel, and you know, every time we give you the next events, the next date. So let me check rapidly. Yes, next one, 23, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. on Green IT in France. Yeah, no problem. They will go drink and I will go back, Geoffrey. And I think it's not yet announced officially, but I can tell it. On the 28th, 5:30 p.m., 5:45 p.m., 6:45 p.m., we'll have a new format. We'll 2 developers and 2 RH, human resources person, will write an announce for the same job, and we'll check those 2 announces during the live. So I think it can be fun, and the job is for a software crafter, of course. So that can be fun. This is the 2 next rendezvous for this channel. So see you next week with another piece of code and over consultant. See you.
Okay, bye bye.